Who are the last two there?
We got Mike Arcata all
course,
the way on the right, and Ethan Peck in the hat.
Ethan Peck again, okay.
Yeah, Ethan Peck had a lot of fun throws last week in the wind, so I'm hoping that now that the breeze has died down a little bit, we can see him uncork some really special stuff.
Yeah, there was some observations made that the wind was the eighth man last week, and certainly it has an impact on the decisions and the actual mechanics of the throws themselves. A very usual Trey Katzenbach to Scotty Zhu over to Ethan Peck to start the game. Right up to Himalaya Mehta on the near sideline, and he's got a nice-looking goal, I think. Ooh, I think that's a toe drag we have pointing in by Joe Campbell. And that is Himalaya Mehta
to Strauss.
To Mr. Strauss, who gets a rousing cheer from his crowd.
What a play.
That really was nice. It was right on the edge, and right away you can see the difference in the wind and the impact it has. It's still going to be tough to score down there. You know, the ease with which they took that up the field. 11:42 left, 18 seconds for a possession. That
was fast, especially
nice timing.
Especially with no hucks. It's tough to get it down the field with all in cuts.
At that rate, we can expect a score in the 30s and 40s. But, of course, there are going to be some harder points here.
We have the new addition, Dave Bear, on the pole here. Dave Bear did not play last week, so we'll see what he can do here. Big player in the Philly scene, but this is his first game with the Phoenix.
And having thrown the pull, he is now the second man down on defense, attesting to the speed Alex told me about earlier. Montreal barely holding on to that in the middle of the field. We have 98 Cam Burden, a new addition to the Royal. And big things hoped for and expected from him. We do have contact there on Francis Vallée by Matt Esser, who just slipped and fell on his legs trying to stop his momentum. Dan Moraski corrects the spot, and not quite in, but on the goal line. Looking for help is Burden.
That's number 7 in the middle, Steve Monroe.
Ooh, and they deed each other. And we have an injury. Well, I'm sorry to see it. I'm glad it was caused by his own player and not one of the Phoenix. That's just unfortunate. You have a guy going in the end zone who is obviously looking behind him. He goes right to the trainer. He jammed something or dislocated it.
Yeah, it's on
one
his
or the
hand.
other.
The trainer's trying to reset that finger right now.
Ouch.
That does look pretty painful.
No, this is no fun. Poor guy. That's number 44, Quentin Bonneau. We're sorry to see that, Bonneau. Feel better. Ouch, he'll be getting ice on that thing right away. Ooh! Oh, lofted up, and Matt Esser almost comes down with it, but can't quite, from Ethan Fortin, the new addition to another new addition to the Phoenix roster this week. He just air bounced that. Oh, and Montreal gives it back as number 33, Yolande Cabot, drops it. Fortin with the disc, looking for David Bear or Sean Mott. He gets Mott, who runs into coverage. A wide open. Vince Radams, thank you, wearing, intercepted. That looked like Nick Patel, who took a hit there. A long shot to the goal line, and that's going to be good. Number 27, Miguel Goder, catches it from
13. Arsenault.
Arsenault, was that? Okay. Just walking off the field. Well, so now we're down under 10 minutes for the second score in the game. But you had 3 turns there.
It's interesting to see.
No, 4, because it was Montreal's disc, and they didn't get broken, so 4 turns.
It's interesting to see Fortin picking up that disc on the turn there. He's one of their newer players. It's interesting to see what Katzenbach is doing for their D-line. I really like the look, though. They got a lot of really quick guys in that backfield.
Well, I spoke with Trey just before the game and asked him what he was looking for from these guys, and one of the things he said was that they're aggressive in their long game. They do bomb it away and go for it. And because of that, he wanted to be sure they had tighter marks, more aggressive marks, You can see Montreal being aggressive on their own defense right now as Mott gets it out to Himalaya Meta, who puts a soft flick up to Ethan Peck on the sideline, and he jacks it for Sean. Is that Sean Mott? Yes.
Yeah.
With the diving catch. This is what we've come to expect from him.
Sean Mott is a bit of a theatrical player. I think he could have had that either way, but it's fun to see him lay out.
Well, and he knows how to land so that he doesn't hurt it, but his focus is always going to be on catching the disc. Was that Ethan Peck who threw that, did I say?
Yeah, it was Ethan.
Yes, Ethan from the far sideline, a nice sort of outside-in flick. And once again, from 9:55 to 9:31, 24-second goal. If the Phoenix can keep this up, they won't get tired too quickly.
Yeah, their O-line is converting really nice. That throw was fun to see, even with the wind today. That's a fun throw to watch happen, that big blade
Yeah, he's got a little tailwind on that, and now Dave Baer throwing into the wind for the pull. We're routinely seeing pulls land at the 15, which is where that one was. It was caught at the 14 by Miguel Goder, and they do go long. Here it is to number 98, Cam Burden. And that was who threw that? Again, Arsenault?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah. He's getting all the chest bumps. So I would say Arsenault to Cam Burden. And Cam is, another one of these lightning-fast guys.
Yeah, and it's early in the game, but they're using him a lot. He is seeing a lot of touches. I mean, he got the goal there, but on that first point, he was getting every third throw.
Right. And he's, on that reception, he could afford at the last second to let up in the end zone. So that's a beautifully thrown disc when he can put on the afterburners to get by his D guy and get the clearance so that he can relax and focus on the catch. And again, that's the benefit of a throw with a tailwind that's not as erratic and going 30 miles an hour the way it was last week.
Yeah, Damiano's out there for the O-line now, replacing Mike Arcata.
Okay.
On the far right.
And who do we have on the near side? That lands in. Joe Campbell is marking it there. That's numbers. Oh, Damiano, that's who you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Scotty Zhu, Ethan Peck, Katzenbach. And, of course, Greg Strauss looking for more. They set up a close stack so they can break away from it if they need. Scotty Zhu looking for help there. Oh,
ooh.
Yeah, I think we can call that. Thank you.
A lot of contact.
Good amount of contact. Number 2, Vincent Gamache. It wasn't brutal or anything, but it was enough to merit the call. Ethan Peck with a nice diving catch.
They're really making it difficult for themselves.
They are kind of, but he wanted it out in front of him. Trey back up to Himalaya Meta. Staying back for the dump, but right up to Ethan at the 15. Oh, and easy for Sean Mott, but he did have to stretch out for that. He's at the cone. And very nicely dropped for Trey Katzenbach.
Here we go. It's fun to watch a game where the coach is getting points.
It sure is. And that's, of course, one might say the reversal of the usual roles with Sean Mott typically being the receiver in these situations. Although in close, he's as valuable as a handler as he is as a receiver.
Yeah, that's true. And part of what Trey still brings to the game, even though he's playing with people that are at this point half his age, is that he sees the space on the field really well. So there, the defender backed off a tiny bit, and it gave him just that little bit of wiggle room to get in there in the near corner.
And of course, his teammates know that if Trey gets his hand on that disc first, it's going to be caught. So all they have to do is just drop it in front of him. This is a nice pull by Dave Baer that's going to stay in bounds and come down at about the 7. Picked up there by Miguel Goder. Across the field eventually to number 8, Mike Volpel. And up the field here to Francis Vallée. Across the field to Yolande Cabot, right up to Bonneau. Well, that was Bonneau before on those, not Arsenault, by the way. That was Bonneau on those 2-3 goals that we had.
To Bonneau to Goder.
Yeah, and we did. Who was that just there?
To Goder.
Ah.
Goder. Well, that was Bonneau. Then that's 3 assists for Bonneau.
Yeah, it was Bonneau. I saw him from the front. I couldn't see the 13, but it was number 7. Oh, wait a minute. Let me double-check that. This game is not really going to start with somebody. Bonneau and Art. No, Bonneau. I'm sorry. That may be my mistake because. Where's number 13? There he is. Oh, yeah. No. Arsenault's blonde. No, that was Bonneau both those times.
So the timekeeper, Steve, pointed out that until somebody scores going into the win, this game's not really going to start. So right now they're just trading pretty easy points. And Philly's already forced a couple turns, so if they can keep up the defensive pressure, they should be able to convert some of them.
Of course, given that nobody's been broken, we know that they turned it right back twice. But that's okay. And we have Scott Ju and Himalaya Mehta and Trey Katzenbach working the disc. Trey puts it up to Strauss, who catches that on his own tip. Ethan Peck, that's a nice grab. Good focus. And he flicks it out for Scotty Ju, who is not the tallest guy there, but definitely gets fouled. We have contact being called, both refs.
Yeah, a lot of contact there.
It's going to be centered and on the line. Well, Scotty had position, and he just slowed enough to try and get that disc. And he actually, in fact, had his hand on the disc. That might have been able to be called a strip and a goal. But I think the Phoenix liked their position. Very simple. Scott Ju to Ethan Peck for the simple, straight-up dump into the goal line.
That's both those Montreal players that tried to make the D had their eyes on the disc, and with a player like Scotty Zu, you really got to keep one eye on the disc and one eye on him because he recognized that if he just slows down, he's either going to get the score or he's going to get the foul call.
Right, one or the other. He's holding his position. That's what you got to do in that situation. And if I'm Ethan Peck, I throw that all day. Because Scotty out in front, of course, Ethan wishes he had given him a little more gas because it's a 20-yard end zone. He can afford to put him out there a little bit. So far, we have a very nicely distributed Philadelphia score.
This is a shorter but really quick Philadelphia D-line, so I want to see them put a lot of pressure on the handlers.
Well, I think that's Trey's tactic. He also noted that Montreal throws a lot of hammers. And here we have Bonneau in the middle of the field again, looking for his old favorite Cam Burden, who lofts a big, airy.
Come on, Campanelli.
Oh, there we go. Mike Volpel is denied by Mr. Campanelli in the end zone. So Campanella. So we're going to have to give him a D on that because I think that's definitely the call there. And we're going back to Strauss in the end zone. Little air bounce. I don't want to see that too much. Nick Patel at the 5 dumps it back to Fortin, who's looking up the middle and then deciding to swing, which is wise, I think. That's Nard. A nice catch.
That's the Nard dog right there.
The Nardelli. Boy, just with his shoulder on the line in there, and Joe Campbell right on top of it to make the call. And now Nick Patel on this side with the disc dumps it back to Fortin. Fortin seems to have gotten over his early jitters. Matt Essers swinging out to number 23, Alain Michel. Back up to Nardelli.
Fortin's one that can get every other if he needs to on this D-line.
Yeah. Well, there's something. Another airy bounce. I don't like that. It's a turnover. Yeah, that's the old broadcaster's jinx implemented by our timekeeper, Steve Leinert, who just noted Fortin as one of the guys who can handle the disc every other throw if he needs to. Montreal timeout by number 98, is that?
Yeah, Burden.
That'd be Cam Burden.
Cam Burden.
So we have the first Montreal timeout.
Might be a little tired.
It's been they've been moving around a lot. There's only just under 6 minutes left here in this first quarter. It's already 4-3.
Yeah.
7 at this rate. 7 points in 6 minutes. 7 scores. We're looking at 14 a quarter for the game, or on the nature of 50 to 55 goals, which would be fun to see. Total. Well, that would be fun to see. We've seen games out here in the 60s, so it wouldn't be surprising. And both these teams look like they have the offenses to do it.
Neither team's got this past midfield going into the wind right now. Neither one.
Huh. Another observation from Mr. Leinert that neither team seems to have gotten past midfield going upwind. But the wind is not that stiff. I don't know what that is, whether it's just the Basile is down taking video of the huddles. That would be fun to watch. The media guy for the Royal.
They made a lot of subs on the Philly defense here. They put a bunch of guys in who are typical O-line players, still really good at defense, but we got Scotty Zoo out there, Radams is out there, Damiano.
And Radams at 6'6", in the end zone, of course, disguised as Dave Hampson. So we have somebody zigged when they should have zagged, and Montreal
Pick it up, Dave.
Does the dump to the man who's not there. Don't underrun it, Matt. Yes, nice job.
Go.
Dave Baer to Matt Esser on the turn. I don't know who the Montreal player was, but he just flat put that out to a guy who zigged when he should have zagged.
Yeah, that's miscommunication with the back court there.
That's what the Phoenix were missing last
So Dave Baer with his first assist of the game. Going out to Matt Esser. And again, we have nobody with more than one goal or assist. 5 different guys have caught them, and 5 different guys have thrown them. Though, of course, Ethan Peck has one of each, as does Sean Mott. But still, that's a balanced attack, and that's just going to make it a little more difficult for Montreal to figure out how to handle these guys.
Yeah. It looks like
is that Dave Baer getting ready to pull again?
Yeah, it is. And Radams and Damiano are both out there, both offensive-minded guys.
Okay. Maybe Trey's decided he wants a couple more handlers in there just to.
Yeah, and I think he really liked watching Dave pick up on that fast break and
I think you're right.
That flick.
Jack the disc. Montreal, Colin Massino is new out there, I think, this point. 71 for Montreal. Malik Roger-Samar fakes it up the field, but then throws to Francis Vallet. Oh, and another Montreal miscue. Francis Vallet does the turn. And the Phoenix jacket to Radams. Who threw that? Was that Dave Baer again?
Radams
and then Radams to Damiano.
Yeah, I think that was Dave Baer. That was
Radams to Damiano, and we have 2 more new guys scoring for the Phoenix. And now, with 2 breaks, we've got a 6-3 score. And I'm wondering, well, Caroline Cadeau, I don't think is going to call a timeout again before the half, but she is calling her players in to have a little chat. Some of the defensive guys or guys who just came off, that was on a turn. So, again, our break.
I love the aggressiveness from Philly here. When they got those turns, both of them were – that one was in the middle of the field, the other one was in the backfield, and they immediately looked to push the disc. One or 2 people went deep. Someone picked up and knocked it to him.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because that sort of default caution mode can really help you miss a lot of offensive opportunities if you're not at least checking downfield.
Yeah.
And today the Phoenix have been checking downfield and finding happiness. And they've been letting it rip. Just as, wow, Arsenault goes over his defender, and that's a nice catch. Arsenault puts it way out front to 22 was Christophe Tremblay-Joncas. Yes, on the catch was Tremblay-Joncas. Christophe laid out for that, and really, I mean, he got that within 3 inches of the turf. That's a nice catch for Montreal, and boy, did they need it.
Yeah.
But Arsenault with the sky.
That was a huge sky. I mean,
there may have been a little forearm on the shoulder of his defender, but hey, I think Arsenault had position there too. He really played it well.
Well, Nard got as close as he could get without fouling him,
and that's a good call too on defense. You don't want to foul the guy and negate a turnover.
It's also tough to make that play backing up. You know, if Nard's running down the field and leaping on the run.
Right.
maybe
well,
he gets it.
Primarily because you can't see where the man is. You can sort of sixth sense him, but you don't want to take your eyes off the disc. Scotty's you reining that in at the 6 so it doesn't hit the ground. Over to Ethan Peck, who is jacking a big backhand for Sean Mott. And this is something else that I would do all day. Sean Mott by himself out front.
Let's go.
That's where we're used to seeing Mr. Mott. And
this is the Huck'em Chuck'em Frisbee I like to see from Philadelphia.
I tell you what, I think people may have had their conceptions about the talent level a little askew with this rebuilt Philadelphia Phoenix team. They've shown here early today that they have some intestinal fortitude on offense and a willingness to go for that deep man. I love noticing the opportunities as a guy who was never afraid to bomb it myself. Often to a fault, I have to admit, often to a fault, because I respected my receivers and I knew what they could do. And generally, if it went bad, it was on me, not on them. And in that case, Sean Mott, that was just beautifully put by Ethan Peck. Another one that Mott did not have to stretch for, but he had already beat his guys by 3-4 steps.
They're leaving Radams way deep. So he's just picking up everyone going back. Ooh, great defense.
Who did that? Did he stuff that? I looked away just at that moment.
It was another miscommunication, but it just ended up right in Dave's hands.
Unbelievable.
He snagged it down.
So we won't give Dave the D, but we have a foul?
Yeah, it looks like a foul on the mark.
Oh, I see. Oh, Dave Bear just implemented the integrity rule, saying that he fouled his offensive player.
It did look like the guy ended up on the ground, so maybe Dave pushed him there a little bit.
That could have been, and that's a very nice spirit call. I think it's so great that we've left at least that element of self-officiating in the game. That's a slight miscommunication as one player.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we have a big jack. Dave Bear wants that one back, and
that is two people that have played a lot of Ultimate together, and I think Dave just got so excited to see his buddy Radams running deep.
Right, that testosterone throw that overshoots your man by about 1.5 miles. And, Radams is not a little guy. He's not easy to overthrow, so it had to be way long. But Montreal coming up again slowly and surely. Radams bites on the fake, and who do we have but Mr. Bonneau overthrowing in the middle. That time I thought both of his receivers might have let up a hair early. We got to trust the on-field guys with their perception of what's gettable and what's not, but I might have given that a little more effort. Bonneau looked to me like he took something off it at the last second intentionally because he knew they were so far out front.
I think he tried to split the offense there between both his cutters, and he just couldn't make the decision because it was curving the wrong way for the near side guy, and it was just a little too far for the far side guy.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Nick Patel to Mr. Damiano here on the near sideline as the Phoenix try to work the Royale out here. That's a nice under-the-arm break right upfield to Nick Patel.
Timeout call
by,
I believe, by Trey. I didn't see
by Trey Katzenbach. Okay. Well, as the on-field coach, and even though he's not the guy holding the disc, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah. So
how does that work? That's very interesting. Well, the coach, the people who can call the timeout are typically the coach or the player with possession of the disc. But since the coach is playing,
the assistant coach has the yellow flag.
Oh, right, that too. That's a good point. Steve just reminding me that the assistant coach would have the yellow flag and be able to drop that. You didn't see that go out, did you?
No, I did not.
I wonder if Trey just called it from the field. He's perfectly entitled to do that, would be my suspicion.
Even though their defense was working up really well they're subbing in a full O-line. So they're starting O-lines back in there. They have Arcata, Mott, Zoo, Meta, Peck, Trey, and Strauss. And you were talking about how there's been a lot of turnover, and I think that something that's really kept this Philadelphia team together is Trey Katzenbach.
Yeah.
As a coach, he has a lot of respect among the guys in the community.
It's true. And he was here last year, too, so he knew that team. He knows this team. And, I mean, Eileen did such a wonderful job last year. I was a little concerned. I'm certainly concerned about playing her as the coach of the Empire, especially with our old buddy Marquez Brownlee playing for them. Well, I mean, they've got a terrific team already, but Marquez does not make it worse. Let's put it that way. Scott Jew looking for Ethan Peck upfield, but looks off Trey and then goes to him on just a swing dump. Trey slips a little, gets it back to Scotty. So far they've gone negative 15 yards. Okay, now we're moving forward. Trey up to Himalaya Mehta. Oh, almost picked
Great
off.
grab.
I don't know if he pulled that hand down with his left arm or what. We have a little contact there on Montreal. So Ethan Peck to the 40.
Man, Mike Arcata is just running around the whole field, and no one's looking at him.
Poor Mike. Somebody should tell him this is what happens when you move into management. Sean Mott on the far sideline, being a little trapped there. A nice outside flick. Ooh.
Oh.
We had two. Mike Arcata was one of them. Two Phoenix in the back of the end zone there.
Arcata and Strauss.
Strauss, yeah, going down together, as it were.
It was tough.
That's unfortunate. I don't know if the D guy made the D or if they D'd each other on that.
No, that was that play. The Steve on the clock is pointing out that play was for Strauss. Mike was probably a little too aggressive.
Arcata came in at the last second. Oh! Very nice D by Himalaya Mehta. We got to give him that one for stretching out there and knocking it down. Gets the disc back for the Phoenix. A little scoober from Trey to Ethan Peck, back across to Mehta, who is rewarded with an easy flick to Scotty Zhu, who takes contact on the catch. But let's number 21, Gabriel Monfette, know that it's all good. He did slow up a little at the end to catch that disc, and Monfette wanted to get a shot at it, but I'm sorry, Scotty's getting that 99 out of 100 times.
Yeah, Monfette doesn't really have a play on the disc. I mean, he had to go through Scotty to do
It's
it,
true.
and he tried to, and Scotty still came down with it.
Right.
I don't know. You can't make too many of those plays, but they seem to make amends with it on the field.
Right.
Mehta is a pretty stringy-looking guy, but you could tell on that point
Strong.
the way, people would run into him, they just bounce off him.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see someone who has
Looks
that much
so long
length.
and lean, yeah.
Yeah, people bounce off like that.
So that was Mehta to Scotty Zhu. We have Scotty's first goal today. And Himalaya's second assist.
Oh, yes, Michelle.
That's Michel with the D. That's very nice. Alain Michel with the D for the Phoenix. Nick Patel with a backhand. Oh!
Just too high for him.
Just a little too high.
They were going for bookends there, but it was a little too much.
Yeah.
This is Philly's squirrely lineups. They got a lot of short, fast guys. But
yeah, I think
give up a little
Ethan
bit
might
more
get a
height.
little turn on the overthrow there. But you could have said Michel could have come down with it too. Montreal, it is up before the clock goes, and it is D'd up. It is D'd up by the Phoenix.
Looks like Esser and Radams and Nard were all in the end zone there.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Philadelphia Phoenix 8-4 lead. About a minute and a half until we start the second quarter, so we'll see you then. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 12 minutes left in the second quarter. 8-4 is the score. That's predictive of a 30-something final score for the Phoenix. We have Dave Baer ready for the pull. And the Montreal line looking for a little redemption here. Miguel Godert trying to get loose after the end of the quarter that was not pleasing to him, of course, hoping to have roped in that last second goal. And Baer puts a nice upwind or downwind pull, rather, down to the 10.
Yeah, the wind's swirling here a little bit. It changes the way that the players have to adjust their throws.
Bonneau splitting the mark nicely there with a little fake out to the side. Popping it upfield to Cam Burden, who throws a big hammer. Holy cats, right to the line. And there we have the first goal of the second half.
It was
from Malik Auger Semar. to was that Cam Burden in the?
I don't. Let me see here. I'm trying to see the number. No, that's Godare.
Godare. Right. I was
Godare.
looking at their legs. Actually, makes it easier sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So we had 8-4 at half. Oops. 8-4, and now 8-5. Montreal is trying to get back in this. And Philadelphia with that starting O-line looking pretty much the same with Scotty Zhu, Sean Mott, Ethan Peck, Greg Strauss. The disc rolls out at the 25. Trey Katzenbach, Damiano, and Himalaya Mehta. It's brought in from the sideline. A big Sean Mott flick to Damiano, and it's D'd up. Really D'd up nicely there by Esteban Ceballos.
Yeah, if he's gonna make that throw, it's gotta be
faster, right?
Yeah.
That's Sean's turnover with a bad throw is my take on that, because he didn't give it the air it needed to have. I know he wants that back. It was a great idea. It was one of those opportunities we've been speaking about.
That's true. And if you don't take shots, you won't convert. So
there
keep
you go.
throwing them, Sean.
There you go. But now we've got the O-line playing D. And a big, big, big backhand that is realized too late. Yeah, to Malik 71, Malik Oje-Samar. We'll just call him Malik. Make this easier. It's such a mouthful. 88 holding the disc. Esteban Ceballos in the middle of the field. Out to the left flat to 17 Genet. And Genet into number 6.
Vincent Lemieux.
Vincent Lemieux. Like the great hockey player, only Vincent. So that was a nice quick point for the Royale.
That's rough. That's their first break of the game.
And it was really just, if anything, being a hair too relaxed.
Yeah, well,
which is not a horrible thing. I mean, they're playing comfortably, but don't get complacent. That's.
We're also seeing Montreal's taking a little bit more advantage of their experienced throwers. They scored that first point on that long hammer.
Right, which is also something Trey knew was coming. Mm-hmm. He spoke about their propensity for hammers. And the hammer, if it's well thrown, the breeze is not stiff by any means here. That was upwind, but it really cut through the wind nicely. Pulled in the end zone by Ryan Weaver and out to Dave Bear.
He switched it up. He put his defensive line out here.
Nick Patel, Nardelli. I think the offense maybe just wanted to rest. Ryan Weaver to Nick Patel playing a little catch. Oh, and that is D'd up nicely.
That's a great layout.
By number 3. That was number 3, Philippe Bisson, one of the guys who came up. Got his D.
Let's go, Dave.
Dave Bear with a D.
Big layout D by Dave Bear.
Big layout D. I'm sorry, missed that. I was looking at the score sheet. Dave Bear gets his D and is now going to pick up the disc. He's looking at Fortin with the swing, but no, Nick Patel with a nice backhand once again to the big guy, Vince Radams.
Big play by Philadelphia.
Nick Patel with his first assist, Radams with his first goal. And it was important, I think, to maintain their momentum at all, to reestablish that lead. Their first point of the second half, and we're only 2.5 minutes gone, really. It's not so horrible.
And a play like that where the defense goes out there to receive the pull, they turn it over, they get the D, they score, and now a bunch of those same guys get to come back. So they have a lot of momentum carrying into this point.
Right.
We got Scotty out there, too. Let's see if he can convert another break here. Scotty's been playing really well. He's just a really solid player today.
Yeah, he has been. He's a guy I've watched for years up at Mercer County Ultimate Disc League. Shout out to McCuddle. And, yeah, he's always been reliable, quick, and smart out there. And we have Cam Burden. Ooh. Montreal playing a little catch before they started moving it upfield here. Thomas Fabe looking for a place to go there. He finds number 33, Yolande Cabot, up the field here on the near side to Valet.
Burden.
Back over to Cam Burden. And there is Goddard. Malik waiting and finds Burden, who overthrows it and turfs it in the end zone.
It's always a little too risky, I think, to fall over when you're throwing the Frisbee.
Yeah.
I would say my worst habit is throwing backhands while falling over.
Right,
and I don't think I've ever converted a single one.
Fortin using a ready disc on the sideline, getting double teamed and goes right through the middle to Scotty Jew, who does a hammer that is barely held up by Ryan Weaver, I think. Yes?
That's Fortin there.
Well, we're calling contact on that. Scotty Jew again looked like he had it, though sort of a pancake turn. He was definitely hacked while he had the disc. The lights have just gone on. Oh, wait.
Looks like there might have been an offensive foul call there.
Oh, I see. So they're bringing Scotty back. Nice around the D to Fortin on the near sideline, who is just trapped singly. An easy dump to Scott Jew. Scotty Jew looking, back to Fortin. Being careful. Nice steady flick to Damiano on the far side.
Hug it to him.
Damiano going deep to the Nard. Yes.
Nard.
Nardelli. That was nice.
It looks like there's a player
Nardelli
down.
to Alain Michel. He is not moving.
That looks like Goddard.
So we had Nardelli on a great catch out there. And then the goal thrown to Alain Michel. The only person with more than one goal is Sean Mott. The only person with more than one assist is Himalaya Mehta. Everybody else has one. It's such a balanced attack today.
Spread the disc around.
That's, Trey's got to love that as a captain coach. 27. It is. It certainly is. Miguel Goddard.
Yeah, he's
coming
walking off.
slowly off the field, but he is walking. I think.
It looks like he got hit in the mouth there when he went up for it.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's bleeding a little bit.
Let's just hope he's not spitting a tooth out.
So that was a pretty rough play, but it looks like they're playing Scotty Zoo the same way that the Heat are trying to play the Sixers right now. And just every time Scotty gets the disc, just poke him, prod him, pull him, touch him, push him. Well, they could call foul on every play Scotty's had so far. They could call foul in Montreal.
I was watching the end of that game before I drove out here. Listened to the last of it on the radio. Sixers take another. Up 3-1 now. Matt Esser with the pull. With a standard O-line out here pretty much, exception of Trey. And we have Nick Patel out there. Ethan Peck. Playing D this time. Ooh, big backhand across the field for number 95, who gets his foot in for the goal. That was a very, very nice play thrown by number 8. That was Mike Volpel throwing it to Francis Valet. Really nice shot. That's again, I mean, you can't count on making those kinds of plays all day, but that was a nice one. Got his toe down just as he got to the sideline.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw. It really just floated right into that corner.
And was not really gettable by anybody on the D. Now the O-line is back out in the form of Peck and Mehta and Katzenbach and Strauss. We got Mike Arcata there this time.
Yeah.
Is that?
Arcata's next to Strauss.
And Sean Mott and Scotty Sue. Scott Sue going to take the pull, as he has become habitual in doing, up to Ethan Peck in the middle. Trey. Oh, the Scoober. Oh,
just too high
misread
for
by
Mott.
Sean Mott. Little too high, and I got to give Ethan that turn, unfortunately. Now we have a big, loopy high flick from somebody who trusts one player to get that, but another comes down with it in the person of Greg Strauss, who goes up to the line and immediately pops it up to Scott Sue. So we got to give Ethan his turnover there, unfortunately.
Mike is running around like a chicken with his head cut off right now.
On the near sideline to Arcata from Sean Mott, who fakes the flick twice, and then a hammer, and then dumps over to Ethan Peck. And looking for that Scoober that Ethan does, this time a little more softly. Himalaya Mehta coming back through the D pretty easily. Ooh, this one's for Sean Mott, right where it should be. Toes in to the back corner of the end zone. That is his third assist and Mr. Mott's third goal. I think that's a combination we might see more of in the future.
I love watching Meta throw the disc. It just
that was exceptional, because though Sean did need to scurry to make sure he got it in bounds, he got both feet down.
Yeah.
Was right in that back corner. If you pace the cone with that, the pylon, you're doing everything your receiver needs you to do.
It was really cool to watch that possession. Philadelphia used the full width of the field. Maybe Ethan had to scuba to do it, but they worked it all the way from the near sideline all the way over to the far sideline and scored in that far corner.
And it's true that breaking that coverage just makes things easier for you downfield. That's also emblematic of one of the mantras I used to hear at my old summer league from the old dogs, who would get jammed up by younger players who put pinpoint passes on them in the middle of 2 or 3 guys on D. I once heard one of the old dogs come back and say to the young guy, look, your job is not to hit me with a perfect pass. Your job is to beat the D. And on that play, Himalaya Mehta beat the D and let Sean Mott do the rest. Montreal trying to get one back with Goddard on the near sideline here. Almost stuffed by who's that, 48, Ryan Weaver, playing a nice mark back here in the. Ooh, and a big. Now, if Nick Patel had known, or maybe Mike Campanella had seen that a moment earlier. Casey Vaughn, rather. I'm sorry. Well, they turned it anyway.
Ooh, Casey's going.
Casey is deep, and Nick Patel. Well, that's a missed opportunity, but he's coming back to get another chance.
Yeah, Philly does not get any extra points for leaving timeouts on the clock.
Yep, and there's Nardelli with a big loopy throw. Ooh.
To Radams. That's why.
That's why he's down there. And then Radams to that's not Radams, but
Esser scores.
Yeah, from Ryan Weaver. Again, a first goal thrower. And Matt Esser's second goal, I believe. Yes, it is.
Man, Radams played that perfectly. He didn't even jump that high. He just he
waited.
Yeah, he kind of baited
read it properly.
He baited the Montreal defender to step in front of him, and he just leaned backwards and snagged that disc. He is, in addition to his size and his speed, just a very savvy player in reading those discs.
Right, evidently a good reader, because that's one of the Ogier Samar rather, on the near sideline. Malik was ready to throw his hat, expressing a little frustration coming off the field on D there. I think Montreal realized they had an opportunity or two to get that. 12-7. Got ourselves a nice lead here.
Montreal probably thought that Philly was going to come out kind of flat, and I think they're a little frustrated in themselves for not playing up to what the Phoenix are bringing.
Yeah, right. And I don't blame them. I think this Phoenix team may turn out to be a surprise. I know that last week's 19-18 loss was a surprise to the rest of the league. I got some interesting texts expressing amazement and satisfaction, gratification that that looked like a great game. Oh, that's a nice contested catch by number 22, Christophe Tremblay-Joncas. I don't know who threw it, but I know that Brandon Pastor tried to muscle his way in there, and Jean-Casse held him out.
Esteban Ceballos.
Esteban Ceballos making a big impact. Good to see one of our owners, George Harris, here in the booth with us, who has been a stalwart here with the Phoenix as they rise from the ashes. What do you feel today, boss? How do you like this? Pretty nice, huh? Consistent offense, and I think people wondered if the wind last week was a little bit of a talent diminisher on both sides, and I think today we may find out that the Phoenix talent was the one that got squashed the most last week, not so much the Toronto.
The addition of Bear makes a big difference, too.
Right, and George is saying that we have a little boomerang pull going on here, a loopy thing that's only going to make it to the 30, 32, which is okay with the Phoenix. Scotty Zook is still going to pick it up. But George just pointing out that Dave Bear has made a difference today, and I think you can't deny that. Ethan Peck in the middle. Mr. Mehta's also been playing really well. Himalaya faking that flick, asking his man to fill the space. Oh, we got contact.
Yeah, bailed out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Stahl must have been at 5 there.
Meta waited a little too long to look up.
Right. Well, but he also is correct that his receivers have to go to space there. Scott Chu finding the open side for Himalaya Mehta and then cutting across to go the other way. Sean Mott getting back just enough to get that. And a nice big loopy outside flick. Ooh, to Mr. Strauss with toes in.
Wow.
Greg Strauss with a really nice layout catch for the goal. Sean Mott hanging him out just a teeny bit for his second assist. Wasn't awful, but he did have to come crashing to the ground.
Yeah, I'm impressed that he could throw that throw with that much loft and get it there that quickly to Strauss.
Right, it did come down quickly, it's true.
Yeah, and the defense was closing.
They were.
It was a great grab by Strauss with the presence of mind to keep his feet in.
And to read the defender peripherally as he went up for that to hold him off.
Yeah, you see a lot of players drop that because they're looking at their feet trying to toe
Right.
the line.
Nothing matters if you don't have the disc.
That's true.
Right? So you better look at the disc first.
Although catching it out of bounds is worth just as many points as dropping it.
Right. Sure enough. Dave Bear with a big backhand up to the 9-7. Montreal coming down. Bonneau with the disc in the middle of the field. That nice flat flick he has. And it's D'd up by Nick Patel, who just gets a fingernail on that thing.
What a D. He tripped when that cutter was making the cut, and he got his feet back under him really fast.
And recovered, and he just bolted for the end zone. Fortin, I don't think, saw him. Dave Bear just hauls in the disc in front of Miguel Goder. Gets it over to Nard, over to Radams on the far side. Back to Bear. And he's just looking, waiting. Oh, Nick Patel with a drop. Flat-out drop. There's a little turn for Nick, unfortunately.
Patel giveth, Patel taketh.
Yeah, Patel giveth, Patel taketh away. Ooh. Oh, and there they go. The big bomb, and that's going to be caught for a goal. Really beautifully put. And that's our boy Bonneau again. Launching it for Malik in the end zone. Auger Samar. Malik he really looked like he was going to have to stretch for that, and in the end, Bonneau put it so sweetly that it slowed down and just sat there for him.
Yeah, he ran right under it.
Yep, took it in chest high.
I feel like
two-handed pancake catch.
Yeah, I feel like that great throw kind of robbed us of a highlight.
Yeah, in a way it did. It really, Bonneau has, I think he's just been masterful today for them.
Yeah.
He's thrown at least 3 or 4 of those long things that were just about perfect.
These guys have all the throws.
So back to a 4-point lead, but Phoenix again with a chance to take it to 5. All right. My pleasure. So, Scott Zhu bringing that pull into the center of the field, having called the brick. Sometimes, as we saw earlier, it's advantageous to take it where it goes out on the sideline if you can get it there quickly enough before the D sets up. But Scott has a nice dump in Trey Katzenbach. Ethan Peck out on the wing with a laser to Mike Arcata, who finally gets that disc and the assist to Himalaya Mehta for the goal.
I'm sorry, Mike Arcata's my roommate. I got very excited there.
Excuse me.
He just had a tough first two games, and it was fun to watch someone throw
Alex
it to him.
stood up for Mike there to give him the shout. It's so interesting to see the evolution of this team with our founder, George Harris, here in the booth, founder and co-owner. He has taken on some new ownership because, candidly, of course, it was a little rough with the MLU in town all that time. But dispersing, diluting the talent for both teams, I think, although the MLU had the advantage because they started with the team and then took it elsewhere.
They did win that last championship.
They did, and there was good reason for that. Now we have Matt Esser with a nice pull, big backhand that I think is going to settle inbounds. It does at about the 3.
Yeah, full field.
Goder bringing it across, and we have Steve Bonneau. Once again, nice flat backhand to Malik in the middle.
Radham's helped off deep there. That's why Malik got so open.
Yeah. Little air bounce underneath. Oh, and we have Bonneau again. And wow. Yolande Cabot. Bonneau to Cabot for another Montreal score. Getting a little closer than I think the Phoenix would like to see here.
They're hanging on to that 4-point lead. Bonneau has 4 assists, and they have been some long throws too. They're not just he's not.
No, that's right. And that thing, and he makes it look so easy. I mean, even that one, for a second on the release, you're not sure if it's just going, too close to the goal line. Then all of a sudden you see it.
Yeah,
it takes off and goes where he needs it.
He almost looks like he's playing badminton in the summer with his kids. The way he just lofts that backhand.
Right, the casual nature of it, yeah. It is very casual. We have Trey Katzenbach starting deep there, popping it up to Scott Jew and then being his dump, getting the disc back at the 12. Back to Scotty at the 20 with a nice flick in the middle to Mike. Arcata over to Damiano. Yeah, this is looking good. Ethan Peck, it's moving nicely. He's asking people to fill space out there. Trey Katzenbach. Himalaya Mehta cutting back too. Oh, Scott Jew gets crushed. Crushed in the middle.
Yeah, that was a tight throw by Trey.
Simon Charette. Yeah, he really sort of set him up for that, honestly. Wow. And I think Mehta was just missed, flat out missed. He was wide open on the comeback. Mike Arcata. Oh, Mike, nice catch.
I knew there was a reason he was on the team.
I think so. Over to Himalaya Mehta at the 10. Oh, Ethan Peck trying a greatest. Could not save it out of bounds. He put it in with a little overhead grab and toss, but Montreal working it out of their end zone. Up to Vincent Lemieux. In the middle to Tremblay-Jonca. Christophe. Oh, a nice little under the arm. We have a timeout. This has got to be for Montreal, of course.
Yeah.
Their second of the half. And we're getting to what you said, Alex, about the Phoenix not getting any points for holding on to their timeouts. Have they used one yet? I guess they did, yes?
They
used one, okay.
Philadelphia's working the disc really nicely there. You saw the value of somebody like Trey Katzenbach, who people don't want to guard him that close because he's so big and he's so physical, and it's just annoying. When you stand close to Trey Katzenbach, he just kind of checks you out of the way. He puts his shoulder in front of you, and he's so wide you can't get around him. So they sag off, and then he gets all these easy resets. They were able to work it down the field really nicely, but they got a little too cute on that corner, I think.
Right.
So Mike had to stretch out for that disc, and then
well, I think he took it a little later than Himalaya had hoped he would, I think, unfortunately.
Mike, Ethan Peck was the one that.
Ethan. Well, Ethan was right, but who threw it? That was Himalaya that threw it, or Trey?
I think that was Meta. Into the end zone.
Meta, right?
Yeah.
Meta, Himalaya, right?
Himalaya
That's
Meta.
what I meant. I think he was hoping that Ethan could get to it sooner, but he just couldn't because it wasn't a high throw. It was just out there farther than he wanted, I guess.
That would have been a good timeout situation.
True. It could have been.
Right in that corner.
59 seconds left in the half. I was reading that as 5 minutes. 14-10, we're on pace for that 28-point game here.
Philly's got their D-line out.
Yeah. That's nice when the other team gives you the timeout so you can do that. We have Fortin helping with a double team there in the middle with Ryan Brown. And they're sort of switching off and going man to the double team and back to man. Oh, that was close. Middle number 10, Ben Crumpleman. I don't think I've called his name yet today. Back to Vincent Gamache, who pops it up the field to 44 Quanton. Oh, and intercepted Nardelli with the big D. Yeah. That is a bad throw, obviously, if Nardelli can take it in front so easily there.
Whoa.
Or just, nice timeout call. That's a very nice timeout call with 15 seconds. And now we're going to get into that whole this clock doesn't start until the release thing.
Yeah.
So we got to give Nard that D.
Timeout called by Fortin. The kid made the veteran move.
Right. And one of the benefits of being able to see the clock beautifully from right where he is on the field. Of course, had they been going the other way, somebody else would have had to been watching it for him. But that is a very good pickup. And there is the second and final timeout. Well, I guess this is why you save them, right?
That's true. That also lets Philadelphia substitute their O-line in here.
Right.
And they got about 15 seconds. That's like 3 or 4 throws, so they don't.
Well,
need
especially
to
because the clock won't start till the release of the first one.
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't start on the stall.
Great timing points. They can take They probably have 4 or 5 throws then. I was forgetting that.
Right. I mean, depending how quickly they get it going.
Yeah.
And of course, Montreal, they're going to put both a little speed and a little length in there on D, I think. Genet is talking to the crowd, looking at the clock, talking to the team.
Frisbee is a sport where I feel as if most of the trick plays come on defense. It's harder to have trick plays on offense, but I would get really excited.
Interesting point.
If I could see something
tricky on out here.
Yeah, something clever. But Philadelphia's got some very patient and talented players. They could just run their offense.
So we have no dump here on a vertical stack for Scott Zoo with Trey Katzenbach first in the stack and Ethan Peck second. Sean Mott is third. Getting a little clogging here. Oh, and it's dropped by Himalaya Meta. We got to give him that turn. Unfortunately, a big loopy Trey's going to get that. Oh, no. I thought he was muscled out at the last second there. We have 4 seconds. That is an ugly turn of events.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
Ugly turn of events. Poor Himalaya Meta. He's got to feel crappy about that. It just hit him right in the darn numbers. So Sean Mott and Ethan Peck and Meta and it looks like Ryan Brown are going back with Radams and Scott Zoo. And we'll see, joining Greg Strauss, we'll see how they go here with 4 seconds.
So with 4 seconds, it's probably Scotty and Ethan in the backfield, and they'll get one pass off, and then they'll throw it at the end zone. And I like our odds with Strauss, Radams, and Mott to get that disc.
Yeah, and it's going out of bounds, which is a help to the Phoenix. That's something, if I'm Montreal, I would not want to have happen. Because once again now, the clock won't start until the release of the pass. When the ref counts it in, that last 30 seconds counts even on time on out of bounds. But, of course, Scotty is double-teamed, so he's got to find somebody to get it to quickly. 2, 1, it is up. It is good. Horn's got to go.
Ooh.
And no catch.
A little too far.
No foul. Little led to the back of the end zone. Well, it certainly was gettable. It was out there. And it got up on one. Even though the horn was a little after that, it was way up. And that is the end of the half with a score 14-11 in favor of the home team, Philadelphia Phoenix. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third quarter here of the Montreal Royal visiting the Philadelphia Phoenix. And Montreal, I think Esteban Ceballos launches the disc there. Pulled out to Scotty Jou after the first throw. Trey Katzenbach back there with Sean Mott with a big lefty flick. Ooh, Ethan Peck out in front. Nice goal to start the second half. I think somebody talked to somebody about being aggressive, perhaps. That was a really nice play. Ethan Peck from Sean Mott. Outrunning the D there. Again, Sean in the less common role. I won't say uncommon, but perhaps less common role as the thrower in that exchange.
They beat their opening point by 1 second, 17 seconds this time instead of 18. So they're really
nice. Yep.
They're making these quick scores an art form just to come out. The guy on the clock, Steve, he pointed out that the temperatures dropped and the winds picked up, but it did not seem to affect Sean Mott at all on that throw.
No, and he's coming downwind with it, but I think it's still a little fluky. It looks very, very easy now. In fact, more from the opposing, the opposite side of the field from us, the bleachers, the fan side. But it's still not hard at all. Malik with the disc on the far side. A big hammer, as Trey likes to point out. Easy backhand to the 5 for Francis Vallet, and a big loopy flick to the back of the end zone for an easy goal to number 8, Mike Vopel. From Francis Vallet, number 95 there. So a quick score in return. Yeah.
So Philly's leaving Radham's way back to open up, which is cutting off a lot of the quick deep cuts that we were seeing Montreal do in the first half. But it means that the break side and the underneath are really open. So Philly kind of you're trying to choose the lesser of two evils there instead of giving up a score so quickly. They're trying to give up the break side, but Montreal took advantage with that hammer.
They sure did.
It's the trade defense from Summer League that's been so successful for over a decade. Leave one guy back, do a lot of switching up volume-wise.
And guarding men.
We have a nice pull from Christophe Tremblay-Joncas. Scott Jou to
Defense should be predicated on
Trey in the middle.
if you're good enough.
Scotty Jou under the arm to Sean Mott in the middle over to Himalaya Mehta. Looking for Ethan Peck, decides to dump instead. Sean has Scott and Trey back there for a dump. Trey staying back, trying to keep his man clear of Scotty Jou's throws, and that's Mike Arcata back to Peck. Peck with a nice shot to Himalaya Mehta in the end zone. Wow.
That was an S cut by Himalaya Mehta, but it looked more like an L cut because he came all the way from the near sideline to the far sideline to get open for that.
And he was open. Wide open.
Yeah, great throw. Big flick Peck there.
Very easy throw. There was a little pressure on the early part of that point, but, Philadelphia broke it pretty quickly. And we have, surprise, surprise, Dave Bear about to pull. Excuse me. Disc is up. Taken in at about the 7. Christophe Tremblay-Joncas. In the middle. And right back outside. And that's Miguel Goder letting it go.
Catch up, Nard.
Little bit of a crunch there at the end. Obviously, the Montreal player was not hurt at all, Cam Burden. He did get knocked down, but I think Nard thought he might have a shot at that. It was close.
Yeah, that's another case of you keep your eye on the disc and you make the play and you just miss what's going on.
Yeah, that split focus. And, of course, the nature of this object of play as opposed to most others is the amount of time it hangs in the air. The flat ball is the hang ball. Does not come down as quickly as anything else. And as a consequence, players spend a lot of their times with eyes up. And Esteban Ceballos with another nice pull. Coming in at the 10 to Trey Katzenbach, up to the 15 to Scott Hugh. Ooh, Ethan Peck, a nice outside flick from Scotty to the 33. And Ethan's going deep. And it's Mike Arcata all alone, basically. Very nice. Ethan Peck with his second goal in a row to open this, start this half.
Mike's getting paid up for all that work he was doing in the first half. His defenders
So it
were
would
giving
seem,
him space.
yes. Or perhaps he reminded them at the half who the GM was. You know?
Yeah, who signs the checks?
Right. Mike Arcata, as Kenny Wells did last year, filling a dual role this year. This extended Phoenix family is really manning up this year, helping out George Harris.
I like that this week Dave Bear, Esther has someone to split the pulling responsibilities with. Dave Bear has been doing a lot of the pulls. Much easier week to pull, too, than last week when Esther was trying to
so much
through the
easier.
wind.
Bono with that damn backhand again. Pardon me, folks, but this time Matt Esser is waiting for it. Takes it at the goal line, steps back to it, up to Nick Patel.
Yeah, they tricked him there. Esther coached pretty far to get that D.
And Fortin is in there now, too. You got a bunch of quick, small guys in the backfield. Here with Michel. Alan Michel, and it's tipped away at the last second.
You got to attack the disc there. No?
That's, yes, and that is a great D by Ethan, by number 8 for Montreal, Mike Volpel. And Dave Bayer disguised as Di Gregorio in that jersey. I understand Dave will be wearing number 42. Bono with a backhand this time.
Ooh.
The back foot was in there first.
Wow. I would have thought he was a mile out of
That's a nice play. And a very nice attempt
Cabot
on the D on the far side.
Cabot threw that to
I didn't see as he got up. I was too busy trying to find the D
it was,
player who yeah, his back foot was definitely in first. Yeah. No, yeah, his back foot touched down first. Yeah, no, he got it. It was a great play.
Our camera guy's got a lot of zoom on there. I would love to see the replay, but
I think his front foot came down second, though.
It was close. That's something where your momentum carries you so far out of bounds that if you're not a ref, if we were in Summer League, that would definitely be called out of bounds. So,
yeah, no, I thought it was beautifully done on his part to get the back foot inbounds.
It's true, and that's what the refs are here for.
Yeah, we have Sean Mott up to Himalaya in the middle. Oh, and he overthrows Mike Arcata. We got to give that one to Himalaya Meta, unfortunately, for the turnover.
Bisson with the disc. New player.
Back to Antoine Genet, and he just rockets it. Looks like Malik in the back. Oh, that's a nice D.
Ethan Peck.
Was that Ethan Peck? Holy cats.
Ethan Peck was fully horizontal, about 5 feet off the ground.
And he just got the tail end of that disc. Up to Meta. Strauss to Mott. Flick to Scott. Just 10 yards up. Greg Strauss again. Nice middle to Ethan Peck. Meta in the end zone. Oh, a big hammer. And that is Meta with the goal. What a catch. Meta. Meta, my friend. Meta. So who threw that? Was that Ethan?
Ethan Peck with
Ethan
the
Peck
low, quick
with a
hammer.
rocket. That was really nice. It was sort of a Scooby hammer, you know.
Yeah.
And Meta really did have to lay down for that, but he did it and now has 3 goals and 3 assists.
That was very close to bookends for Ethan there. He got the great D, and then he threw the goal instead of catching it. But
Right.
that hammer should almost count as a as a point.
Dave Bayer letting it rip. That one's going to fade a little to the far side, coming down at about the 16 or so. Oh! Immediately turfed by Godard, I think that is. Yeah, 27, Miguel Godard just grounds it out. Dave Bayer. Easy flick into 85. Mike Campanella. Ooh. Nick Patel. Back to
Dave Bayer.
Dave Bayer. Nick Patel looking, and a Blady flick at the line, and we have an just feet in catch from Nick Patel, number 7.
To Radams. That's the sort of patient offense that Dave Bayer brings to the team. You get that one extra handler on D-line, and you saw there they could just dump it all day until they got something that they liked. And it's just too hard to play defense in the end zone for that long.
Yeah. And we have a nice 5-point lead again. What was the halftime score? Was 14-9 or something? 14? Wonder what that was.
I think it was 14-11.
14-11 at the half?
I
Okay.
believe, yeah.
And Matt with the pull this time. Esser. Coming down at the 11.
Give Bayer a break after all that work he did for that.
Yeah. Alan Michel playing good D back there, marking the throwers. Francis Valet. Malik thinking better of that. Oje Samal.
Philly is really staying tight on these deep cutters. So
Yeah.
if Montreal's going to do something, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to understand it's going to be a contested catch.
Yeah, and they're going to need to do it the hard way.
Right. They're not going to get any breakaways. Ooh, the nice underarm, and there's one man lets it go wisely for the other. And, ooh, no, it's
far.
overthrown out the back corner of the end zone.
That was Bonneau who overthrew that.
One of his rare turnovers, I think only his second or third, but a guy who lost that many, it's bound to happen. Double team on the mark. Ryan Brown, that looks like. Weaver. I've been calling him Brown. I apologize. Damiano with a backhand. Scott Zhu pulling it in, and a big flick. Over. That's a little bit of a misread on Dustin's part because he came to the disc instead of going deep first and then coming back.
It looks like he didn't quite think that Scotty was going to throw that.
Scotty threw it. Boy, that was
Scotty did throw it.
yeah, if he had just headed straight for that disc, it was all his. He misread the first 5 feet out of his hand. Malik, Damiano on him, Dustin holding him. Timeout.
Ooh. This stall count was getting up there. It's a great timeout call by the coach. Good presence of mind.
So 19-14, Montreal at their own 20.
Now, does the stall count reset coming out of a timeout?
Yes,
It
always,
does.
yes. Yep.
They bought him 7 more seconds.
Yeah, it's one of the obvious reasons for doing it, of course. They can get out of that situation.
So it looks like Trey's coaching him up, but they're bringing in Radams and Bear. Bear got some much-needed rest during that pretty long D point. Now he gets to go back out there and try to get another D.
Is it cold out there, Nick?
He'll be excited to see.
Just precautionary.
So something that these players got to watch out for, because the temperature dropped about 10 degrees pretty quickly, and you run so much that all the blood goes to your legs, your fingers get really cold, and it's tougher to catch it. So we had a couple more drops here this quarter than we were used to seeing at the beginning of the game. That's part of it.
Listen to Shaggy, the science guy.
Well,
your fingers get cold. Oh, well, you're right. No, of course.
Before I started playing Frisbee, I read a lot of books.
Did you stop reading once you started playing Frisbee?
I started reading different
not.
stuff.
Different books.
Different books.
Okay, so we have 98 on. Oh, Casey Vaughn is just working Cam Burden out over here in his pocket. Ooh. Oh, Cam Burden catches it, but the bounce on the ground knocks it loose. And that, as we all know, is a turnover.
Yeah. No questions about what a catch is.
Fortin, oh, man, Radams. Thank you, Mr. Radams, said Mr. Fortin, because Radams pulled that thing in from behind him going in the opposite direction. Very low. Ooh, and that's overthrown. Yes! No, yes. Dropped it. Just overthrown.
Man.
Mike Campanella with just a little too much mustard on that thing.
I think Radams laid out about half the width of the end zone there, or about half the length of the end zone. He is a long human being.
Yes, he is. At 6'6", and with good leaping ability, he can cover some ground. All right, so Montreal on their goal line, out to the 10, and a big jack, and number 33. Oh, just snags it.
Cabot.
And then bolts for the end zone, Yolande Cabot, and gets the reward.
From Valet.
Well, they were down 6, so they needed something, and we understand you have to do that.
It's nice to see a player do the work for the Huck there and still get to catch the score.
Right.
Man, Philly had a lot of opportunities to convert in the end zone.
They did. They just got to maintain some semblance of continuity here. .332 left. The pull is up. 19-15 our score. Skatsu. Looking. Wants that backhand to Ethan Peck in the middle. Nice flick, Sean Mott.
It was smart double team by Montreal. There were a lot of Philly people that were going deep.
Mm-hmm. Sean back to Skatsu. Oh, Scotty, that flick they buy that every time. And a big backhand. Mike Arcata. Yes!
Oh,
another giant grab from Mike, who bangs the turf. Ethan Peck.
And he took the breath
in the middle.
He throw it too.
He did, in the middle to Strauss. Sean Mott on the goal line, on the 5. Ooh. And he's giving it back to Greg Strauss for the goal. He caught it with a tip catch. Sean Mott.
Man, that was a punt there. The stall count was getting high, and for Mike Arcata to catch that in traffic, that was something.
That was something. That was really, that's the second giant leaping catch that the new GM has had today.
Yeah.
Brings it back to 5 at 20-15.
Could you imagine if other sports had GMs that played it with them?
They might think a little differently about things.
Howie Roseman gets out there, plays cornerback.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see.
You could be a kicker.
Ongoing discussions about who could be a kicker here. Dave Bear with a nice big pull coming down at the 5. And once again, it's Goddard back deep with Bono and that big backhand.
He's
too far this time. And Nick Patel, that's Radams, who covers a lot of ground. And there's Fortin up the near sideline to Vaughn. And they tried it. That's a great D by number 95, Cam Burden. Francis Valet. Bono looking for the disc tap, but then realizing, of course, you can just throw any time. Valet with a big hammer going to Malik. And it is tipped away at the last second. Who is that, Vaughn? Who is that?
No, that's not Vaughn.
Brandon Pastor?
Yeah, that's Pastor.
It is. Brandon Pastor with a huge D in the end zone.
Ooh, Patel just fakes everybody out there.
Yeah, made them all jump. Fortin waiting for somebody to help him out. Patel. Nice flick up to Radams. And there it is to Matt. Who is that on the far side? Oh, there it is. A nice goal to Casey Vaughn for his first score of the day.
That's a huge point.
And who threw that? That was on the far sideline. Was that Strauss? I think it was Strauss, or?
I don't believe it was Strauss.
No.
But I did not see. That was Philadelphia, I think 3 or 4 times now, has left somebody back there to poach the deep. They've released early, so Cutter has gone deep, and it's looked like they were open, and Bordeaux's taken the shot, and either Radams or Esther has been able to poach off and get the D. Nard, too, they're really playing those cuts smart and kind of baiting Bordeaux into throwing that backhand that he's been throwing all game.
Bono, you mean?
Bono.
Yeah.
Bono. Sorry, Bono.
No, that's all right. Bono has been much less successful this half with that. Yeah. But it's been such a weapon for them.
Great halftime adjustment by Philly.
It is. I'm really wondering who threw that, whether it was Fortin or Meta. I mean, not Meta, but Ryan Weaver. There they do. There they go. Oh, and both of them mistime it. And the Montreal player has a second shot as Colin Messino, and he both go up early.
Man, everybody on Philly is taking the poaches there.
And Ryan Weaver going back for the disc, bringing it up to the line. We have Damiano and Bear off to his right side. Damiano in close with Fortin crossing in the middle. No, it's not Fortin. I'm sorry. 85. What is that?
There's a foot block.
Foot block. Holy cats. Montreal disc on the goal line. It's a flat ball.
That was Hibbert.
It's a special kind of ball. Hibert and the easy backhand kaboom to 72 was that?
17. Ooh, Genet.
That was to 28 through that, or caught it, wasn't it? Was that 28? One of them was 28.
I don't think so.
Or 88. Coach Steve is perturbed here with all the deep goals by Montreal, despite the fact they're still down 5.
I like the way Philly adjusted, though. I mean, they've gotten a lot of Ds now on those throws by Bonneau.
They have.
And they're making him throw it, too, which is also impressive by Ty Handler defense.
Tremblay-Jonca with the pull. Trey to Scotty. Oh, he was thinking about it. Sean Mott looking for himself downfield. Scott Zhu. And Trey Katzenbach. Oh! Sean Mott barely ropes that in. A little incidental contact. I'm going to guess they... Oh! Nice read by Ethan Peck. And a goal!
Wow.
And a goal! To Ethan Fortin, who was that? Meta?
Yeah. Another
That's a
Ethan
nice
Peck to Meta.
play.
Man.
Ethan Peck to Meta, and that was, you heard the horn go, ladies and gentlemen, right in the background there.
I'm surprised they knew what time it was because I had completely lost track of how many seconds were left.
Right.
I was too engrossed in what was going
Well,
on.
that's why we got to have a dedicated clock guy here.
Yeah. Who's doing a great job, too.
By the way, 22-16. You know, at this point, I would be surprised and disappointed if this were anything but a Phoenix win.
Well,
I really can't see them giving up a 6-goal lead.
Yeah, the Phoenix have been playing really well, and they adjusted to the deep game of Montreal. I think Montreal is well suited to come back because they're just so happy-go-lucky, huck 'em, chuck 'em frisbee right now, just throwing it deep over and over and over again. That they're either going to score quick or turn it over quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I
And of course,
keeping it down.
The one advantage on a huck turnover, as opposed to a midfield, is that your opponent has so much farther to go. But at this rate, I mean, we've seen the Phoenix answer with several long shots of their own.
Yeah,
And I think a slightly higher percentage of theirs have been successful. They've relied on it a little less, but it's worked a little more.
Yeah, and Peck to Himalaya has been
money.
Yeah, great connection tonight.
This is the interesting thing with a team that's this new to playing together. As talented as we're finding out a bunch of these guys are, I think we can look forward to a little better cohesion, a little improvement every week.
I agree.
And the rest of the league is going to have to start dealing with that because that's not going to be a happy thing for them.
Well, if Philly can prove themselves to be one of the more talented teams, then this Eastern division is
very tough.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's going to be a really talented team that doesn't get to go to the playoffs.
The DC Breeze, yeah, that's absolutely right. The DC Breeze, who actually lost last week to these guys.
Yeah.
Who broke a home winning streak down there. So believe me when I tell you, folks, the Royal are no slouch. They are the real deal. When you go into DC and beat them at home, you're doing something. And that ended a 2-season winning streak, maybe 3, at home for the Breeze. Pretty impressive. Dave Bear holding the disc, Fortin next to him. Matt Esser's out there. Mr. Vaughn is out there. And Matt Esser on the mark now with Cam Burden. Francis Valet, who's been lethal lately for Montreal. Godard fakes the backhand around Dave Bear. Goes cross field instead. Would like to have seen the Phoenix player make a little effort on that last throw. Not that one, but the one before it. That's an example of a player asking for and getting the call. On the trailing defender sort of running into him as he stopped for the disc. And Bono.
Travel called.
Yeah. Thrower's travel, so he's going to take 10 back. He took too many steps, even with his momentum, to not establish a pivot before he let it go.
True. 10 back and the throw, which is a big deal here. Ooh.
Malik. Montreal being a lot more workmanlike on this point. We have another contact foul on Radums, I guess.
Yeah, it's getting a little chippy down there.
Seems like it might be.
Yeah,
we got to be careful we don't have offensive players launching or, lurching into defenders to get fouls. And there's a Shot to the 1. Should be an easy goal, and it is to Godard. Miguel Godard on the reception from Valet, maybe again?
I think
don't know.
so.
Yeah, I think it was Valet. So we're back to 17. I mean, we're back to a 5-point lead.
That's four goals for Godard, who is their point leader for the day.
Huh. They've got, if the Phoenix score on just half of their possessions and Montreal takes that long on each of theirs, they are not going to catch them.
That is true. And this Philadelphia O-line, they had a couple hiccups in the second quarter, but they have been very solid.
They really have.
And it's not just the way that they're playing offensively. Even the turns that they've had, they've played really strong to the disc and are really focusing on getting it back.
Yeah, I think Trey has gotten his message across to them this week. Scott Yu to Ethan Peck off the pull at about the 7. He fakes the backhand to Sean Mott coming in, and Sean waits and then goes. Meta does not see him because he's almost double teamed. A nice fake to the dump out to Trey instead. Meta now on the far sideline asks Trey to come up and fill the spot, which he does. Fakes the flick, gets to Sean Mott towards the middle here at about the 35 or 6. And Meta again. Oh, to Ethan Peck. Ethan's got to watch that gentleman, Jay, with a little bit too much curve back in as he runs up. Back from Trey. Nice flick out wide to Himalaya Meta. Ooh, easy across to Sean Mott. Ooh, Scotty Sue.
Wow.
And wide open, Ethan Peck in the end zone. Wide open.
Yeah, he's pecking at him right now.
Yeah. Scott Yu to Ethan Peck. And
a lot of open Philly players there. We had that big break side throw by Peck to Meta, and then I didn't see anyone near Peck in the end zone there. Did you see anybody covering him?
No, not remotely.
Wide
no,
open.
he had long since busted whatever coverage they had on him. And this is actually ideal. I mean, here you have a situation. Let Montreal take a minute and a half to score each of theirs, and the Phoenix just took a little under a minute to score theirs. Boom, 2.5 minutes gone. We keep going at that rate, they're not going to get anywhere.
We got a lot of Montreal players on the sideline too, getting their hamstrings stretched by the trainer.
Cam Burden there on the ground right now.
Yeah, getting cramps worked out. It's tough. I mean, they got to travel all the way from Montreal. They must be sitting in that bus, and then they have to get off and play a game.
And they did not. They don't, because this is a makeup. They made the trip just for this game. Usually, when the Canadian teams come down here, Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto, or Toronto as we see, they play 2 games on the weekend to maximize.
Oh.
Now that's contact, but that also was a strip.
Yeah.
Ooh, Matt Esser pulled that down out of nowhere, but out of his hand a little bit. And overthrows Francis Valet, who's been so big for them. Overthrows Malik in the end zone. Monsieur Tremblay-Jonca. Very nice. And Fortin bringing it up. Nice low backhand out to Mr. Vaughn, or Mike Campanella, I'm sorry. 85. Oh, Patel looked like he almost got that tipped. And it's reined in over there. Nick Patel.
Man, look at that big flick, Nick Patel there.
Yeah. 23, Alain Michel. Oh,
Ooh.
That's blocked right off the throw on Campanella.
Man.
A nice turn by Montreal. This is what we do not want as the Phoenix. Is a break here. There's a flick from Bonneau. What the heck is that? Who knew he had that? And a nice backhand out of the middle from Godard.
To Volpel.
Volpel in the end zone.
That's all right, though. That's a hold. and that took a lot of time off the clock. Another minute and a half.
Oh, that's true. I'd forgotten that. That's right. Was actually a hold.
So the offense doesn't often get credit because you're supposed to be consistent on offense, and Philadelphia's O-line has been great. But I really want to shout out Fortin and Bear and Nick Patel, too, who on defense have been so smooth handling, and they have to make so many of these little handler cuts after playing defense for a whole point to try and get the D, and they have had some stellar
I think it's safe to say that the Phoenix have a surprisingly high number of two-way players here, guys who really can do it on both sides of the flat ball.
It's fun to watch.
It is. Scotty Shu to Ethan Peck over there. Is that Mike Arcata back in?
Yeah, Mike Arcata getting the disc.
Scotty Shu again looking for Himalaya Mehta, who's waiting for someone to fill the space, as I am. And Justin Damiano gives up and lets the disc go over to Cam Burden. That's Damiano's got to finish that cut, whether he gets beat on it or not. Get beat on the cut. Don't fake your thrower out by stopping and letting the D take that space you were supposed to fill. Number 2, Vincent Gamache back into the middle.
He's being covered by Trey.
And that is number 6, Vincent Lemieux, to, who is that, 64 or 84? 64, Simon Charette. Simon Charette with the goal. Or Simon? It's Simon. I think they go Simon. And Vincent Lemieux with the throw. That's down to 4 at 19.
Timeout called on the field.
Yes, by Timeout Phoenix. Thank you very much, Joe Campbell. Shout out to the tallest ref on the field.
It's a good timeout call. I think that O-line looked a little
getting a little ragged or a little sloppy or something. Right. Steve Leinert just making a good point here. Not panic time, tighten up time. And I'm sure Trey is getting right on that. The Phoenix, they're happy. They should be happy. They're up. I think they're feeling good. And it's good to put a little brakes on that momentum. Don't let these guys start running you around.
They have a bunch of D-line players that get to play, but part of this 20-man rotation means that you have to make choices somewhere, and it seems like Philadelphia has made the choice on their O-line. They really only have 8 or 9 people that have played so far on the O-line. And while it's good, I mean, those players are all consistent. At this point in the game, it's got to be tough for them. They put so many points on the board. It's a lot of running.
Well, thankfully, some of them have been mercifully short. So we have Ethan Peck, Scott Shu. Is that Mike Arcata there?
Mike Arcata next to Sean Mott.
Sean Mott and Trey and Himalaya Mehta, and is that Strauss on the far end?
That's Strauss.
Greg Strauss.
Home crowd favorite right now.
Yeah.
Ethan Strauss. He's had a great game. He had some great toe catches. We just caught it toeing the line.
All right. And another big pull from Cam Burden. And Gabriel Monfette, the first guy down there on Scotty Shu. Nice out backhand up the field to Ethan Peck. Sean Mott is taken off. And unseen Trey Katzenbach. What's he doing way down the field here? Whew. Meta all alone. Nobody's covering him. And there we have Antoine Genet trying to work his way up the field while shutting out the lane. Ethan Peck fakes the backhand, does the scuba to Trey. Back to Ethan Peck at about the 16.
He's the farthest person downfield,
when
so
he's
got to get there for him.
He's seeing Mike Arcata for a big hammer across the field. Oh no. Mike had that. I think he thought the defensive player was going to touch it, but he didn't, and it just shortened up.
Yeah, the defensive player kind of blocked his eyesight there, too. And
Yeah.
in the lights, it's a little harder to make that catch than in the daytime.
I think that's true. You may be very right about that. These lights are new just last year, the beginning of last season. Arsenault holding the disc on this side, guarded by Ethan Peck. Oh, that's a nice pickup by idiot Esteban Ceballos. Very nice layout. I mean, he just left the ground completely. He really had no choice. But the disc was, thankfully for him, thrown softly, so it was pretty easy to rope in.
Wow.
What is that throw?
That is a high-release
Holy
flick
cats!
by Ceballos.
Holy cats. What a thing of beauty, even though it didn't work out.
He,
His receiver was kind of boxed in there.
it looked like he twirled that around his thumb, maybe.
Yeah, it did. It could have been a thumber. Could that have been a thumber?
No,
No.
it was right side up. The thumber would be upside down, but, man.
Well, no, I mean, if he did a weird thumber out like that, he could have done it. It just, the arm motion looks so awkward. Mike Arcata in the middle from Sean Mott.
He probably would have wanted to throw a more traditional throw there, I think.
I would think. I don't know that he was throwing over anybody. Sean Mott dumping it back to Katzenbach, back to Mott, who's, Scotty Shoes here. That's why it's sort of double team, but not really. Ooh, he was thinking about that up the seam. Sean with the easy flick to Scott, who checks out who he's going to crash into, sees it's nobody, and lays out for the disc. Himalaya Meta with the disc in the middle, just inside Montreal territory. He's getting bumped around a lot. And I don't know if we have a timeout or a foul there. I think that was contact.
No. Stall call? Timeout? There's a timeout. Timeout on the field.
But another Phoenix timeout?
Phoenix timeout.
Wow, I think they thought the stall was high or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like them using both of their timeouts so quickly this half.
Well, we got
But I think they have.
We got a little over 4 minutes left in the game.
I mean, it's not desperate, but first half it turned out to be a very nice thing that they had that timeout.
That's true.
Even though they weren't able to capitalize.
I like this, though, by Philadelphia. They've taken 2 minutes off the clock here so far with just this point. They do not need –
Well, that's true, yeah.
They don't really need to score. They just need to keep killing time.
Right.
Every minute now is the same for them as scoring a point, it feels like.
Yeah, and you could even say minute and a half or,
Yeah.
Because Montreal has not been getting those cheap 15 to 20-second goals.
And it was pointed out by the camera crew, but I don't know if it comes through when you're watching at home, but watching at the field, Himalaya Meta is so fast.
He is.
Just roasting people up and down the field.
Well, Sean Mott is the same way. And, we saw this early. Both of them got loose a little. Though at this point, Meta has 4 goals and Sean only 3. Of course, Meta has 3 assists and Sean has 4. So there's a very nice balance there.
Ooh.
Tied for the points lead with 7. Ethan Peck looking for his options before the clock is whistled in. Sean Mott easily on this side. And he's looking for that little backhand. He gets the dump flick instead to Trey Katzenbach, who, it is something when you see Trey just holding his position, these guys banging up against him. You can't move the guy. Himalaya Meta. And it's Trey at the 2. We've got contact. On Meta's mark. So Meta is centered on the goal line. I'm going to go out on a limb, folks, and say this is a Phoenix goal coming up here. Though, of course, it's just that kind of announcer pronouncement that is the curse of being on the air. But, yes, Meta nicely, easy.
Ethan Peck.
Easy to Ethan Peck.
They reversed their formula there.
That's
Meta
right.
throwing to Ethan.
That's right.
You unjinxed yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
I called it out.
It was well done.
So I could get away from that. Actually, Ethan Peck is the points leader now with 5 assists and 4 goals. That's a pretty productive afternoon.
Somebody has him in fantasy. It's me.
Is it? That's nice.
Yes.
Dave Bear. Yeah, we have Sean with 7 and Himalaya Meta with 8 total points. But the Phoenix, that first half, we went well into the first half with different guys throwing all these goals and catching all of them. It was really a pretty score sheet. It was like little bird feet all over the place, but only one per person.
They're just walking down the field,
Yep.
but in little hash marks on the score sheet.
4 minutes and still a 5-goal lead. I think Montreal, you could stick a fork in them here.
Well, they got to start taking shots now.
They do, and that's not going to go well for them, is my suspicion.
Oh,
There's Nick Patel. We're going to find out here quickly.
Ooh.
They've got the short guy on a big guy, and he ropes it in at the 2. Oh, there's a nice goal. Well, just as I open my mouth, there is the curse, and that gets them a goal in about 20 seconds, 18 seconds. That's probably their fastest goal all day.
Hubert de Vopel.
Hubert de Vopel.
Two guys coming from the back, and the third
Yep.
goes deep.
Yeah. The Montreal they ran a zipper play. So the guy from the front of the stack ran down the middle. Everybody parted ways for him. We used to call it the Red Sea. I went to a Jewish high school, and we called it the Red Sea.
Right, public
Back of the stack.
parting the sea.
That are deepest come in, and the third deepest guy then takes a one-on-one shot straight down the middle.
And that is, it's exactly what you just said, Alex, that they have to do. So now they've done it, and now we want to see the Phoenix respond with a nice 2.5-minute workmanlike point.
Yeah.
Lots of dump swings.
Yeah. Scott Sue from Trey Katzenbach. And they're to midfield with Ethan Peck, or right at it. He's going to swing to Scotty Zhu, back to Ethan Peck. And he's going deep because he sees Sean Mott all by his little lonesome who drops it. Drops it.
He overran it. He plain overran it
and then dropped it.
He overran it, so he had to try and catch it at his hip. It was too far back.
Shawnee. Okay, now we need some D here. With a 4-point lead and 3 minutes, we need some D and no Huck.
Oh, no.
And there's the Huck.
Oh,
we have Mike Arcata deep.
Coming up. Yeah,
Yes.
Mike.
Big Mike
Let's
with
go,
the
guy.
D. I think both of us anticipated that, given his vertical game so far today, that he was going to be there, and he was.
Yeah.
Now on the far sideline, flicking it back to Scott Zhu, who puts a nice loopy bladey flick out to Sean Mott. That's right, fellas. Do it easy. To Greg Strauss, to Himalaya Mehta. Ooh, he wanted that, but he thought better of it. Let's just keep burning time. Scott Zhu from Trey Katzenbach, far side to Mike Arcata again. Back to Scotty Zhu. We don't need to do this immediately. Let's just work the disc.
Yeah, this is patient. This is what
It
we
is.
need.
And
Wow.
Peck with a hammer to a wide open Sean Mott, who does not drop this one. Sean Mott with the goal, his fourth. And Ethan Peck with another hammer for his 6th assist of the night. 6th assist.
It has been a tale of two Mike Arcatas. Last week I was talking to him, and I think he had 3 or 4 catches, but he had no completions, which is not the kind
funny.
of stat that you want.
No.
No completions, no assists, no goals. He was really annoyed about it. And this week, he's caught a few goals.
Right, he should be. More importantly,
huge
though,
D.
he's made a couple of monster Ds and monster catches on O. Those big, tall catches he made, and the one D that was so critical. Dave Baer with that nice, easy backhand pull, which is not easy to cover because he doesn't loft it a lot. But our first man down, Fortin, is only there on Bonneau at the second throw on the 8. It's up to Godard, and right away into the Phoenix side of the field with Morgan Hubert standing around looking for receivers. Now this is great when you get the disc down the field, but you want to have some players to throw to. And Godard with a big flick into the end zone. Oh,
wow!
That was a lucky catch for him. Was that over Matt Esser?
Yeah, I believe Cam Burden was the one that came down with that.
Cam Burden, yes. And Matt Esser was right there with him, but Cam did just snag that over the top, luckily for them. So Montreal now with 21. to the 25 of the Phoenix. We're back to 4, but with 1:47 left.
Yeah, under 2 minutes
I
here.
think it's safe to say.
I mean, the Phoenix just have to be patient with the disc.
Yeah, they're not giving up 4 goals in less than 2 minutes. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that I'm surprised we didn't see this as much last week from Philadelphia, but I think Montreal needs to be a little bit more aggressive on the marks here or on the dump defense. Kind of let up throws going.
We have a
up
roller
line.
pull that's tapped down by Damiano in the middle wisely. Trey up to Scotzu. And Sean Mott, Ethan Peck. I think not that they're going to relax. Holy cats. That was a really heads-up and spirited play by the Montreal player. 88 to get over Himalaya Mehta there and not just take his head out with a knee or something. I mean, Cam Burden that was who did that, 98. Really, really spirited play. You know, he could have just cracked him, and that would have been not good. Trey to Damiano, back to Mehta, back to Mott. We're just playing catch here for the Phoenix. Not very worried about upfield, though Scotty Zhu is there. Now we can start looking for that score. We're under a minute.
Well, we saw it. There were a bunch of Philly people cutting in the end zone, and maybe he tries to force that throw.
Yeah.
The score is a little different, but here.
And here you had Scotty Zhu unmarked, so no stall. Now we have Peck. Oh, nice shot to the 2. And there it is. Easy to Mehta from Ethan Peck.
Another one.
One more time. Himalaya Mehta for his 5th. Ethan Peck for his, 7th assist now?
Yeah, maybe all in Mehta.
Monroney.
Ethan and Himalaya are just
They are finding a rhythm.
Right now.
They really are. It's just it's great to see. And with 33 seconds, we're 3 seconds away from the 30-second rule. Not that it's going to have any impact on this game, but our esteemed timekeeper is now going to devote his full attention to what happens, because there are at least 3 circumstances where that clock stops. On an out-of-bounds, on a turnover. I mean on a foul, not on a turnover, but on an infraction. Foul, stall, timeout, turnover, out of bounds, all those things. It's a roller flick, which will start when they pick it up. And the clock is winding. We're at 30.
I like this. They're leaving people back.
Oh, he wants that down. Yeah, Ethan wants, 26 is that. Colin Massino wants that down, but he's not going to get it. And we have Bono.
Oh, so close.
Nick Patel, if he had just caught that instead of trying to hit it, that would have been all his. There it is, just like that. That's how you do it.
A little bit after the horn.
That's how you do it. Ethan Peck
Don't
with
get
a
hurt.
D at the last second. We're going to give him that because he just flat intercepted it.
Wow,
Ladies and gentlemen, a 5-goal win for the Phoenix. What do you think?
Yeah. Don't call it an upset, because I think this Philly team is strong, but I think people are going to be surprised by this score.
Oh, I think so.
A lot of people had Montreal as the second-best team in the East, and I think Philly's shown us something here.
Well, especially after what they did in D.C., and I think you're right. I think the other thing is, the Phoenix were really an unknown quantity, and I think a lot of people saw them as rebuilding, but they didn't understand or realize, as did I, the caliber of guys they were bringing in, because these guys have done a great job together, and we got some chemistry that's beginning to build that could that 1-goal loss to Toronto is looking less and less like a fluke.
Yeah. And I got to say, if Ethan Peck and Himalaya Mehta, if they keep playing like they did today, they're going to be one of the more dynamic duos in this league.
God, yeah. And, just wait until Sean Mott gets uncorked and Scotty Zhu. There's another combination that, once people realize what Mehta and Peck are doing, then other guys will be freed up from those best defenders to wreak their havoc on the opposition.
I think that's what happened a little bit this week. Mott had, for him at least, a relatively subdued game. And I think it was because, they were focusing on shutting him down, and that gave everybody else on that Philly O-line a chance to feast.
And despite that, he is still doing, 4-4.
Yeah, still had a great
subdued game. I don't know.
Well, for him.
Yeah, Ethan was 4-7 here. And you had Himalaya Mehta with 5 goals, 4 assists. I mean, wow, what an output. And, it's the evolution of the game from one that started so balanced to one that then later relied on its stars to, as they like to say in the association, the stars have to be the stars. Your big names have to be big names and do big things. And tonight, that's exactly what the Phoenix got here in the second half. So, ladies and gentlemen, maybe a little bit surprising, but let's say for now, just a hopeful sign.
Big win.
A big win for the Philadelphia Phoenix going forward, and a little bit of a message to the rest of the league, if not the Eastern Division itself, that these guys might be one of the big surprises this year. I'll be interested to see what Evan Lepler says in the Tuesday Smash or whatever, the article this week. It was definitely noted about how close that first game was. And I think we're going to hear a lot more from this team before it's over. So your final score here from A.A. Garthwaite Stadium is 21-26, a nice, solid 5-goal win for the Phoenix. And we thank Montreal for coming all this way to take a beating tonight.
Yeah, it was gracious of them.
Thanks again to 302 Sports. Nick Halliday, Pat Dariantes, and Nick Hall, our sub for the toothache. And we want to thank Steve Leinert on clock and Alexander Schragus here in the booth with me, your erstwhile host, Bailey Saul. We hope to see you next week for, is that the DC Breeze next week? I think it is, yes. A week from tonight. We're going to find out just how good this Phoenix team is in the East, and I think the D.C. Breeze are going to find out too. So we hope to see you then, ladies and gentlemen, from A.A. Garthwaite Stadium here in beautiful downtown Conshohocken, PA. Have a great rest of your weekend.
So long, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.